Welcome to the Utah Street Banter Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode here on the Utah Street Banter Podcast. I'm Cody. With me, like always, is Elijah. What's up, man?
Not much. Doing okay. How are you?
Doing good. Got a little frog in my throat today, but it'd be all right. Yeah.
You know, it doesn't kill us, makes us stronger.
Yeah.
The great Kelly Clarkson said.
Yeah. It's all good until it kills us.
That would be a problem.
That's a rough one. But talking about what doesn't kill us and makes us stronger, this past week, luckily it didn't kill us.
It may have killed us. I mean, it felt like it at times.
Gosh, man, it felt like we were on our way down.
Yeah.
But pretty frustrating week, I would say.
Yeah.
We left last time going, feeling good about our schedule. Remember we did strength of schedule?
Yeah.
And then we get almost swept twice.
Apparently, we just need to talk like every series is the hardest series we have for the rest of the year.
Forever. Yeah. We went 1-5 since the last time we spoke. We got swept by the Cubs last week. No need to get into the box scores like we normally do because we lost all of them.
It was bad.
And then really we should have got swept by the Yankees, but the Yankees.
Thank you, Anthony Volpe and Alex Verdugo.
Yeah, luckily the Yankees helped us out there. So it was. I don't really have anything good to say about any of it. Even our win wasn't that great. I mean, I guess our win was Henderson hit a bomb, Santander hit a bomb, and then you got everybody hating on Kimbrel again. But that's the first time he's pitched in like a week and a half, it seems like.
Also, I mean, you did give up a 3-run home run.
He did.
I think it's deserved hate.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But anyway, with the Cubs game, the Cubs series, we were outscored 21-2. So you can talk about our pitch.
For those of you that aren't statistically smart, that's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, pretty rough week. We're 3-7 throughout our last 10 games. But guess what, Elijah?
What, Cody?
We're still in first place in the AL East.
Yeah.
What do we have? The third best record in baseball?
Third best record. We're only half a game back behind the Guardians.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's the Phillies.
Yeah,
We're only 4 games back behind the Phillies for the best.
And everybody talks about how great the Dodgers are, and we've got a better record than they did.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it looks rough, but how about this? To make everyone feel better. Through their last 10, the Phillies are 5-5. Guardians are 4-6. We're 3-7. Yankees are 4-6. Dodgers are 3-7. And the Brewers are 3-7. That's your top 6 teams right there. None of them have above 500.
Wow. Yeah,
everyone needs this All-Star break.
Yeah, I was actually listening to an interview with Mike Elias. He had a good interview the other day and just talking about trade deadline stuff. And, it's funny he brought up that under new management, they're willing to take on contracts. I didn't realize that was a big, until he said it, because he does pretty good at not like giving too much away on what's happening behind the scenes. So you didn't really know what was happening with the old ownership.
Yeah.
But just for him saying that, you could just tell like, all right, we got some money back in. So if we get somebody that we have to take on some money, to me, that's like a Scherzer almost, like that type of guy, that they're willing to do that.
Yeah, if you need to, instead of giving up more prospects, take more salary, which I think for us works out perfectly because we don't have a high salary and a new owner that may be willing to spend. Yet again, I mean, you got to think you have an owner that just went from that didn't spend any money at all, really, to having one that if he's going to be willing to spend money, that's got to be the best news ever for a GM, because you had Elias out here doing the best he could and doing really well at it with the scraps of the Rule 5 draft picks and the undrafted free agents and all that stuff. And to give them money is just that. I'm sure that's a nice thing to hear.
Yeah, so I was excited to hear that. But we're going to have a little bit of fun today. We're not going to talk about much of
the depressing
stuff. Yeah, because, hey, we're still in first place, right? So the big thing we're going to kind of hit on today, we got some All-Star game activities happening this week. The Home Run Derby is tonight, but we're not going to talk about that much because it's going to be old news by the time you guys hear this. But yeah, we're going to talk about the All-Star game. We got some fun stuff there. And then we had the draft last night, or well, I guess it was 2 nights ago. It was on Sunday. That I was absolutely thrilled about.
Yeah.
What a great draft, in my opinion. Another great draft. Last year we had a good draft with Enrique Bradfield Jr. getting drafted. And then the Orioles seem to do it again this year. I'm thrilled. Anyway, we're going to jump into some of the All-Star Game stuff real quick. we got big news, guys. Corbin Burns is going to be started on the mound. Elijah, you may not know this because we did not talk about this before, but has an Oriole ever started the All-Star game before this?
I'm honestly not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Yeah, hey, if you guys know, leave it in the comments, guys. But Gunnar is going to start at shortstop. He's going to bat second, and Adley Rutschman is going to start as the catcher, batting eighth. Pretty cool. Hey, you know, you almost wonder if some of the reason Corbin Burns is starting is because he has his catcher, starting with him. And I'm sure both of them aren't going to play that much. You know what I mean? You don't want your catcher catching a ton of them. Maybe he catches 2 innings, 3 innings. So starting on the bench as a reserve is Anthony Santander, and then Jordan Westberg is also there. I'm really happy they got in there.
Yeah. So I looked it up, and that probably made us look like we don't know. So he's the 5th Orioles.
Okay. Yeah.
Steve Stone, Milt Pappas, Jerry Walker, and then Palmer did it 4 times.
Oh, Palmer. Okay. I believe Palmer.
But
I don't know any of those other guys.
Yeah, I don't either. But Adley and Burns are the first battery from the Orioles.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You know, I would have thought like Palmer and Dempsey maybe.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Never.
Yeah. So pretty cool. I mean, it's going to be really fun to watch, especially compared to years past. Last year we had Felix, can't wait to see him again. Cano just didn't have the same year. Austin Hayes, we all know that hasn't. And Adley Rutschman, that was his first All-Star game. The year before that, from 2017 to 2022, we only had one. We had Jorge Lopez. What a change that's made. Cedric Mullins in 21, Means in 19, Machado in 2018, Scope in 17. All right, Elijah, here's my question for you.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. When is the last time, I'll ask you, you know when now, but in 2016 is the last time the Orioles had more than 4.
Yeah.
Like we do this time. Name the 5 people.
In 2016?
2016, name the 5.
Manny Machado.
Yes.
Adam Jones.
No.
No? Okay. Chris Davis.
No.
2015, right? Mark Trumbo.
Mark Trumbo, yes.
Okay, so it's Mark Trumbo, Manny Machado, Zach Britton.
Yes.
Brad Brock.
Yes.
Darren O'Day.
No.
No? Is it a position player?
Yeah.
2015.
2016, Bob.
2016, sorry. J.J. Hardy.
Nope. You want one more?
Matt Wieters?
Yes, Matt Wieters. So, yeah.
How many All-Star games he made?
No, you're good. 2016 was Brad Brock, Zach Britton, which it's impressive that you got Brad Brock. That's a tough one. Manny Machado, Mark Trumbo, and Matt Wieters.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of a fun one just to kind of think about. I mean, another fun one that I remember, I think it was the Mets, I think that was the 2015 one, where you had Zach Britton, Adam Jones, Manny Machado, and Darren O'Day. That was, I mean, when you think of a core, or maybe it was 2013, because 2013 was Davis, Hardy, Jones, Machado, Tillman. But anyway, we're just going down a rabbit hole here. But one of my favorite ones, okay, so you probably know most of all these, but in 2010, the year I graduated high school, this is a first baseman that made the All-Star game. I think I could give you the guy's first name, but you wouldn't get it.
Give it to me then.
You want to get Ty
Hilton.
Ty Wigington.
Ty Wigington.
I believe he was on the Astros before. No. I don't remember.
And in case you're wondering, I got Ty from T.Y. Hilton, the wide receiver.
Oh,
the Cowboys.
That's funny. But yeah, anyway, so that's a crazy one. But moving on before I get down this rabbit hole, it's pretty crazy to see though how good the Orioles have gotten. We're getting recognized now. I guess they heard our podcast from last week, and then we got some more people in there. We should have thrown some more names out there.
Apparently.
Maybe Baltimore Orioles players, if you want to throw us some money, we can probably get you in.
I mean, Westberg and Tony will definitely.
You're welcome.
I mean, I know, Tony, you just went through ARB, so you got a little bit more cash.
Yeah, he deserves it.
He sure does.
Yeah, but anyway, so do you have any players that you're super excited to see in this All-Star game?
Yeah, there's definitely a couple. I'm excited. I think kind of everyone is, and I think you could almost say he's overhyped, but also lived up to that at the same time. I'm excited to see Paul Skeens.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like Pirates are not a team I watch very much of, and it's going to be cool to see him. I'm always excited to see Ohtani. That's going to be cool. Mason Miller is going to be awesome to see.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited to see Gunnar, too. All the Orioles guys, I'm super excited, but I think Steven Kwan's going to be nice. The Kwan Skeens first step out of the game is going to be really nice to see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's hard to say you're not excited to see any of them. But just some of the more electric pitchers are always fun to watch. That you don't, especially from the National League side, that you don't get to watch more of.
Yeah, I have some weird guys. Okay, so because as an Orioles fan, I'm hoping that we get some pitching, but I don't really know who I really want because I don't know who's a pretender good pitcher.
Yeah,
like sort of like Jack Flaherty last year. or is he Jack Flaherty this year? Who knows? But so a couple guys that I'm excited to see is Garrett Crochet. I'm excited to see how he does against huge competition. I hope he gets in a big spot where he has to go through, like, I would love for him to go. He probably won't, but I was gonna say Soto, but he's not coming in time. But
they're in the same league.
Oh shoot, what am I talking about? I meant like
you can see like a Ohtani, Harper.
Yeah, like something like that. Where I meant to say somebody in the Soto Judge category. So like I really want to see him go against really difficult part of the lineup, but I don't know. Just to see, I'm sure other teams are looking for that too. Bobby Witt's gonna be fun to watch because I'm a big American League guy. So I'm just, like I said, there's a lot of fun guys, like you said. It's always fun to watch Ohtani.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm just going through it. I'm looking through their lineup again. Jackson Merle, that's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, so I'm excited to see that. I want to make sure I see the first pitch of the game. Corbin Burns, I want to see that pitch. There's really Shota
Imanaga.
Yeah, so pretty excited to see that. I'm gonna try to stop picking tough names to say. That's So yeah, I'm like, I think you're right though. The National League is pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see who's, I don't know, who we don't get to watch all the time. But Jackson Merle, I've maybe only seen 2 or 3 games that he's played.
Yeah, me too. No, I mean, you don't really. Who's staying up for the 10 o'clock West Coast games?
Yeah, well, not you, because you're like an old man.
I mean, I gotta wake up early. So I don't get to pick my schedule like you.
Yeah. So we did a fun. He is so salty, everybody. But we did a fun thing this time where we picked our own our all-time AL All-Star team, but they had to play since we've been alive.
Yeah.
So we've had to see them play, really. So pretty excited to hear what yours. His is going to be totally different than mine.
We don't know which others.
What year were you born?
05.
And I was in 91.
Yeah.
So kind of.
And I know for me, I did it more even, not just players when I was born, players that I've personally seen. So really, I think you're going to see most of these guys the late, like it's 2010, 2011, 2012.
Yeah, so you're like, I could probably guess your whole lineup. It's probably Luke Scott in left field.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Seth Smith,
Seth Smith,
field.
yeah.
But no, I'm just kidding, guys.
Tim Beckham at short.
Tim Beckham shortstop, right? All right, let's go through this. We didn't do a batting order, so you guys can't freak out about that. Also, if anybody has any ideas of a good of your own lineup in your lifetime, because I'd love to hear, like, if you different ranges, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you got people that are going to be younger than us that, like, that's what I was trying to, it was difficult to try to differentiate from like the 2010 to like 2015, 16.
Yeah.
And then the current, where, I mean, I'm sure it was even harder for you because you're so much older than me.
Yeah, so much.
But like, if you have people that were alive during the 80s, who does Darryl Strawberry crack a list or something like that?
Yeah. So definitely leave us a message on or a comment on Facebook, or jump on our YouTube channel and leave us a comment on there. But you want to get started? Let's start with first baseman. I want to hear yours first.
Okay.
So tell us again. You were born in 2015.
So I was born. That was
2005.
Yeah, that was 9 years ago.
2005.
I was born in 2005.
It feels like it was 9 years ago.
Yet again, you have to remember, like I said, it's more 2010, 2011, 2012.
Okay.
So this guy didn't start out his career as a first baseman. It didn't even start out in the American League. But I never watched him play on the Marlins. I never watched him play for the Florida Marlins. Okay. I remember him as the first baseman for the Detroit Tigers, Triple Crown winner Miguel Cabrera.
That's a great pick.
I think because yet again, for me, Albert Pujols obviously was still good, but I remember much more that's a bad old Albert Pujols.
Nobody has a problem with that pick.
Yeah.
That Miguel Cabrera Triple Crown, one of the best first basemen.
Yeah.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. Mine's Albert Pujols, though.
Albert Pujols. But that makes sense.
And I have him in the American League because I can, but he obviously
was better with the Cardinals. Yeah.
Yep. All right. My second baseman is a Oriole who I have a banner in this room somewhere of him, and that is Roberto Alomar.
Roberto Alomar.
Yep.
I thought you were going somewhere else.
No. Who do you think I was going to?
Brian Roberts.
Oh, I was going to say
you're going to pick the trader that went to the Yankees.
Yeah, no. Roberto Alomar.
He's good. Yeah. Yep. I went with someone that's still actively playing, and people may say he cheated, but I mean, he's still Jose Altuve is undeniably great. Yeah. Or as Jim Palmer says it, Hosey,
yeah, nice. Who's your third baseman?
Third baseman. Now, this one, he played for the Orioles, obviously. After he left, he wasn't in the National League, but I think this is
Melvin Mora, huh?
Yeah, Melvin Mora. Hanser Alberto really just had Manny Machado. Okay. I mean, this is where I think it's my list, not your guys's, and I loved watching him on the Orioles, and I think he's...
Is that his jersey you're wearing?
It sure is.
Do you-
I got a 13 in the front, but it's got his nails back. I got it for about $40 at Dick's Sporting Goods after he went to the Padres.
Dodgers or Padres?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about yours?
My third baseman is one of my favorite players of all time. I used to wear his number because we have the same last name, and that is Chipper Jones, one of my favorite switch hitters of all time. He's a redneck. I'm a redneck. We all go together. So one of my
Andy's our cousin. So
yeah, he should be. Yeah.
Same last name.
Yeah. So now we're continuing our favorite All-Stars in our lifetime in the AL. The next one is shortstop. This one is like a no-brainer for me. This is Cal Ripken.
Yeah, and sadly I wasn't alive.
Yeah.
To watch Cal Ripken, that would have been great. But I really struggle with this because I feel like throughout my lifetime there's been so many. Derek Jeter had caught the tail end of his career. There was no Cal Ripkins. There was no consistent, just great player for like 15 years.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different highs and lows of these players. And this guy, he's not in the American League anymore, still playing. I really love his game. He had some great against the Yankees in the playoffs. Francisco Lindor.
Oh, man, that's good.
I think it's a great player. I mean,
Cleveland Indians.
When he was with Indians, hitting the Grand Slam in the playoffs against. But then I do have in parentheses here another guy that I just really love. There's a guy like this I did pick, but Andrelton Simmons is a great player.
Yeah.
Best defensive player of all time. And I just had to include
when he was on the Braves, man. My gosh. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I don't have any issues with that.
Who's your catcher?
My catcher is one of my favorites, and that's Pudge Rodriguez or Ivan Rodriguez. When he was on the Texas Rangers, that was one of my favorite players. He won a World Series with the Marlins, I believe. But that's my catcher.
Yeah, no, and I went someone who is kind of the same as Miguel Cabrera. He didn't play catcher his whole career, but he's undeniably had one of the better peaks of any catcher in baseball. Joe Mauer.
Oh yeah,
just a great player.
I'm glad you said
great when he went to first base. I mean, it's kind of hard not to include someone that because that's what when we were looking at this list, I didn't realize it was AL at first, and I mean your brain goes instantly to Buster Posey for me, but Joe Mauer's right there with him. The only thing Posey has is a couple more years on him, which is crazy to think because Posey had a short career too.
Yeah.
But I mean, just great peak.
Yeah.
Played on some really bad Twins teams and just was kind of the only bright light there for a while.
Absolutely. Yeah, poor dude had to end his career playing outdoor in Minnesota. Yeah. Moving on the outfield, we picked 3 outfielders. We didn't pick left, center, right. We just picked 3 outfielders. And my first outfielder that I'm going to go with is, I think he's the only player I've ever seen do this. He had his first name on his jersey, and that's Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah. I mean, he only needed one name.
Ichiro. Yeah.
You can't go for Joe Mauer. You can't just say Joe.
Yeah.
You don't know who that is. Like, Ichiro is Ichiro.
Yeah.
How about this cool story about Ichiro? Obviously wasn't even alive when this happened, but when he came over to the Mariners, obviously Randy Johnson wore 51 for the Mariners before him, and he actually called Randy Johnson, thanked him for letting him use the number and stuff. It's just he's a great guy. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
For my first one, I'll start off with the funky one, and this I just love. He played in our division, an AL East guy. I just love defense first. Kevin Kiermaier.
Really, that's a weird one.
I love watching it. I mean,
Elijah's team is not. They're not gonna hit, but they're gonna make. You got Andrelton Simmons at short.
No, I have Lindor at short. No, I have Joe Mauer, Miguel Cabrera, who's
I'm kidding.
No, Kevin. The rest of my team can make up for. I need my defensive stud. I love him diving. He's the best defensive outfielder of my generation, at least that I can think of.
All right, who's your second outfielder?
I'll start with this next one. Adam Jones.
Okay.
I feel like I don't have to explain it. We're all Orioles fans. I think that's a very he was an All-Star very many times and probably one of the better outfielders.
Yeah, and I'll pick the next one's an Oriole player too. Sammy Sosa.
God, that's so stupid.
Yep. I'll put him on.
No, that's so stupid. Yep. He barely played in the American
Sammy
League.
Sosa.
God.
Yep.
I'm protesting that pick, by the way.
Sammy Sosa. He's my.
I tried to pick people that were majority in the American League.
I'm just telling you. Sammy Sosa.
Who's your last one?
All right. My last one is Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's the difference between me and you. I guess it's just hard because where I'm growing up with these players, you grew up with better players, but you got to see them finish out their careers and the impact they had afterwards. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of going I have Bryce Harper and all these players and stuff like that that will be on that same level once they finish their career, but it's really hard to look at it. And I picked someone that's still actively playing.
Okay.
And I mean, I think he's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer by the end of his career. Hopefully with 0 World Series though. Aaron Judge.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
undeniably best outfielder in the game, best player in the game. I know. Look, I love Gunnar Henderson, but there's just Judge had probably the worst 3 weeks of his career at the beginning of the season, and then still is better in everything.
Yeah, I agree. We both picked a DH. Everybody. Who's your DH?
So this I feel like was a weird pick. He was an Oriole, but he kind of bounced around his whole career, and he just when I think of DH, there's no like pure DHs anymore. This is a pure DH. Nelson Cruz.
Yeah. Man, he was a stud. Yeah, I remember we got him. Yeah. Do you remember how much we signed him for?
It was cheap because of his
1 year
suspension.
Yeah, $8 million. Yeah, and that was cheap then.
Yeah,
like that was cheap then. For us, my team, we made a trade with another team and brought him to the American League. We traded for Barry Bonds.
No, that's oh my god.
We made a trade. Yeah,
I love how you set these rules for me.
No, I'm kidding. That's not. I'm just kidding. No, Edgar Martinez. He's my DH. He is just like, so when I was growing up, he was a DH. Like I'd never seen him play anywhere else. I don't know. So yeah, he was just amazing. You couldn't strike him out. He's sort of like the American League version of Tony Gwynn. Yeah, in my opinion, he just made contact all the time.
I mean, and I know we both of our second options, but it was real tough to choose between the guys we picked and G-Man Choi.
Yeah, but I did have another option here in all seriousness, and Jim Thome was my other option as a DH. But just if you made me make a team and you gave me,
I feel like for you it's pretty easy to pick like first baseman and DHs, saying that you grew up through the steroid era.
Oh, it's perfect.
Lots of home runs.
Yeah. Who's your starter? Who's starting your game?
So I feel like I probably picked this guy too quickly, but I mean, another first ballot Hall of Famer, Justin Verlander.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, like I feel like there's so many pitchers it's hard to pick from.
Yeah.
But I feel like where I grew up, I was coming into the tail end of a lot of really good careers, and then like guys like Verlander or Scherzer. Yeah. That's what I really. If you tell me, think of the greatest 3 pitchers I've ever seen pitch, it's Clayton Kershaw, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer. But I picked the one that spent the most time in the American League.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine is going to be Randy Johnson.
I mean, the big unit.
Yeah. So that
I can't. I'm really surprised you let Cole Irvin on your team.
Yeah. And then we both picked a relief pitcher. I picked the best relief pitcher of all time.
Yeah.
And that's Mariano Rivera.
And I didn't feel like I called enough of his career to give it to him. And then I just let my Orioles bias fully and just picked Zach Britton.
Yeah, I mean,
he had possibly the greatest peak of any relief pitcher.
I have no problem with that. Yeah, I think the worst thing he ever did was, this isn't a Yankee hater version. He went to the Yankees, but he let them keep him in the setup role.
Yeah.
So that's where you look at Josh Hader, where he sort of forced himself, like, if I'm signing somewhere, I'm closing.
That didn't really work out for him though.
Not yet. They're a game back now. So
I'm not talking about for the Astros. I'm talking about for him personally.
Yeah.
Luckily, they had Ryan Presley, one of the other good closers. So
true, but yes, that's fun. I mean, I don't have any issues. Kevin Kiermaier's the only question, but that's fine.
No, that's what I figured. I'd do one funky pick, and
you're fine.
Yet again, I don't think if you ask anybody to do like from my time period, you're rarely gonna have any overlap. There's just so many different players, and there's no just clear yeses.
Yeah,
I feel like so. It's definitely I thought I made my. Yet again, it's my list.
I have no problem with it, bud.
You pick Sammy Sosa.
Because he's
for his 1 year in the American League.
I was getting ready to wear his jersey here, but then people were going to wonder why I was wearing a Cubs jersey. I love Sammy Sosa.
After the Cubs swept us.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't do that. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't do that. All right, guys. Moving on. Obviously, All-Star game is going to be a fun game to watch. I'm excited about it. Luckily, we should have an Oriole in there almost throughout the whole game as they start subbing Westberg and Santander in there. But yeah, the only thing that's pretty crazy in my opinion is that we have no relief pitchers like we did last year. Actually, we had 2 this year. Our bullpen's been struggling.
Kimbrel should have been there.
Yeah, you're over, what's his name? But Clay Holmes. But moving on, I want to hit the MLB draft real quick. We had, I cannot believe how good of a draft we had, especially our first pick. We picked my least favorite college of all time, which is...
He's a biased Duke fan, so just take that with a grain of salt.
All right, but we picked my favorite player in the entire draft, Vance Honeycutt. And that, when I say my favorite player, that doesn't mean he's the best player. He's just my favorite player in the draft. He played, obviously, for the Tar Heels this season. He had 28 home runs, 28 stolen bases. The only thing he kind of struggled with a little bit were strikeouts. But Elijah has a really good summary written up, and I'll let you.
So he has a career 1.050 OPS, which is pretty darn good
Yeah.
when you're one dot. And for his career over 3 seasons with the Tar Heels, he has so I caught his tools, like his tool rankings by the MLB. The only one that's below 50 is his hit tool. He's definitely much more power. Like he said, his career he has struggled with the strikeouts, but which is why I feel like he was more of the reason he dropped to us is he has so much raw power, his speed. It's kind of just he strikes out a lot, and I feel like that's something the Orioles can fix, and that's why they took him here. They feel like they can make him a good player.
Yeah.
He is someone I could see having major league impact in a year.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I feel like one of the things that you can never take away, power is power. That transitions to all facets of the game, every level.
Yeah.
Obviously, the hit, if he's struggling to strike out, then he'll take his time in the minor leagues. We have no rush to get him up.
Yep.
We have plenty of outfielders right now. And if you're wondering why we drafted an outfielder, what are we going to do this trade deadline? Hopefully, we're going to trade our depth for pitchers. And I think the reason that we don't really get that too many pitchers is we don't draft pitchers, apparently. That's Michael Elias's thing. Didn't do it with the Astros, hasn't done it since he's come here. I don't know if it's he doesn't trust his ability to pick a pitcher because pitching's such a volatile thing at that young of an age. You really never know what's going to happen. I mean, look at, I think his name's Mark Apple or whatever, the Astros #1 overall pick from like 2013 or something.
Right.
Never, was in the minor leagues for 10 years, never made it past the big league.
That's crazy.
I think it's just, there's so few Paul Skeens where you know he's going to be a major leaguer. And they take these outfielders because their tools are going to transfer over. He's somehow only a 50 overall on his tools, but I mean, he's got really good speed. He's a potential 30-30 guy. I mean, he set a single season and career record for home runs with a 28 in a season and 65 career home runs. And he won 2 straight ACC Defensive Player of the Year awards. Yeah. So he's he can play in center field. He can play the corner outfielders. And I think he's a good one that he could maybe be between him or Bradfield, trade one, keep the other as your center fielder for the future.
Yeah, just give everybody a heads up. The rankings or ratings, however you want to say it, for Vance Honeycutt looks a lot like somebody else that is currently in the Orioles system who also fell late in the first, early second round, and that's Gunnar Henderson. Same exact thing. His fielding was way above his hitting. The only reason he fell in the second round is because they didn't think he was going to hit. Boy, were they wrong. And if we can get half of what we're getting right now with Gunnar, that'd be great. But guys, I can't stress this enough. Like right when you think oh, we're getting late draft picks now, this is going to change. No. We get something like these past 2. Enrique Bradford Jr. is a stud. We got him late last year. Vance Honeycutt is going to be a stud. We got him late. Now, the next guy I don't know much about. I didn't really watch much of Virginia baseball, and that's Griff O'Farrell. He batted a .344 batting average. What do you got on him, bud?
So, yeah, I couldn't find – so his stat lines aren't great. He's definitely more contact first. He doesn't have much power, and that's kind of his main drawback. But, the writers that wrote up the rankings for all these prospects, which I don't take these rankings as anything because – they had the most recent mock draft before the draft started had J.J. Weatherholt going first overall, and I think he ended up getting drafted 12.
Okay.
So it's just, I don't think you could take any of these rankings. He was ranked lower than what we took him.
Yeah.
But it says he's a no-hitter, impressive bat-to-ball skills, sorry. And he has ability to work at bats, get some walks in. He gets on base a lot. He could steal a base when he wants to. He's really good. He's not got much speed. He's just got above average speed, but he's got good baseball instincts. Okay. And he's quick on his feet, which I think really good for his defense because he's got a decent arm. Not good, but decent. And I think it's basically he's not going to be the stud. He's another Jordan Westburg type guy. I see this.
Okay.
He's not going to be the Gunnar Henderson. He's not going to hit the ball 450 feet. He's not going to run. He's not going to be the fastest guy on the field. But he's going to work hard and he's really going to just grind and he's going to be gritty.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great pick because he has the tools that aren't going to deteriorate. I think they're going to help transfer too. And I think I just trusted Michael Elias with what his picks are.
Yeah, there's really no reason to not, right?
No, I mean, everything's worked out. And like you said, where we have these lower draft picks, so we're like, oh, well, maybe we're not going to do as good. Well, I mean, you just got to think we drafted in the same draft Adley Rutschman, Kyle Stowers, Gunnar Henderson, Joey Ortiz. That was one draft.
Jeez, that's amazing.
That we didn't all get that in the first round. Only one came in the first round.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you got to remember. That when you have good enough drafting and scouting departments and a general manager that's as smart as Elias and people like Sig Mejdal working in the front office, they're going to find ways to get impact players that all look the same.
Yeah. And what's kind of interesting, too, this Graphic Farrell, this was a compensation pick because Gunnar Henderson won the Rookie of the Year last year.
Yeah.
So we actually got really 2 first-round picks. Just one was at the very end after the Diamondbacks because the Diamondbacks had Corbin Carroll. But anyway, yeah, so I'm really excited about this. Like I said, there's the draft was pretty interesting. I'm really excited about it. I'm sure there's going to be guys in the later rounds that we'll talk about during the offseason because we'll see them play a little bit, especially throughout our minors as they start getting in there. People like, a lot of your batters usually will actually get into the minors this season by the end of the month or at the beginning of next month usually. So pretty excited. So if you're around, especially if you're around Delmarva, the Shorebirds, or if you're around the Ironbirds, might be some fun guys to kind of see come up through there and kind of see the new young guys that are going to be coming up through our system. Really excited about it.
Yeah.
But guess what, guys? We don't really need to focus on just young guys anymore because our pro guys are pretty good right now.
They're pretty.
So used to, we'd only talk about this because we'd talk about, we drafted this guy named Adley. Hopefully he's pretty good.
Yeah.
They intentionally walked in when there was bases loaded in college. So now he's in the pros. Gunner, so we got a really fun All-Star game coming up. We got a fun week. Elijah, we got some fun things planned for this week, right?
So looking into the future, we have been brainstorming trying to spice things up around here and try to get some interesting stuff. So if you look forward a week from now, we'll play a series against the Rangers, the Marlins, and Padres. But after that series, July 30th, there's the trade deadline at 6 p.m. that day. And obviously we're hopeful that the Orioles are trading for somebody. So this is more, I'm going to be open to you and tell you guys what we're going to do. And I am going to expect something in return for this. I really need you guys to come through because our social media activity has been kind of lackluster. You guys are failing us, okay? You're listening, you're liking, but you're not really commenting. And we really want you to comment. We're going to put out some polls. We want you to answer these. Who are some guys that you want to see the Orioles trade for? Who are some prospects you want to see the Orioles get rid of that you think could be interesting? Just give us some names that you want us to talk about because we are open. We always want new ideas. We really want to know who you think. Is there some underrated reliever on the A's that you think we're going to go get that's not Mason Miller? Let us know. I'll deep dive. I'll research into him. I'll put a package together of what we think we can get for him. And so next episode, when you come back, All-Star Game is going to be all wrapped up, and we'll have this Rangers series wrapped up. We're going to go full deadline. We're fully preparing, talking about it. That's all we're really going to be talking about. We're going to talk about who we think we can get trades for, who we might trade away. And I know we've been touching on it a little bit probably each time we come on here. But it's really, we're getting to the crunch time. We got 2 weeks left before it happens. And we really want to know what's the state of the fans. Obviously, me and Cody, we're fans, but you guys are all fans too. Whatever I feel might not be how 95% of everyone else feels. Yeah. So we want to really just get everyone active because when you give us a name, we're going to talk about it. We're not just going to be like, oh, we don't like you. We're not going to talk about that name.
Right.
And we're really trying to change this thing up. And we'll come on 2 weeks from now after the deadline's over and hopefully recap about getting a whole bunch of studs.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah, so you can definitely go on and go on our Facebook page or Instagram page. You can go on our YouTube and put any ideas that you have of who you're thinking about that the Orioles should try to get.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any bad advice. I mean,
no.
Unless you're saying something crazy, but. Yeah, so obviously we'll entertain anything and just kind of we want to hear your thoughts, So maybe it's totally not what we were thinking, and then you're probably going to be the right one.
Yeah, I mean so that's the thing because we think the way we think, and I think that's how everyone is though.
Yeah.
And if I have my mindset on these 4 pitchers, but there's someone from the Mets that I don't even know exists because I don't watch the Mets. But maybe you have a brother that's a Mets fan and you see this guy and you think he'd be a nice rental or something like that. Yeah. Just anything like that would be great, guys.
Yeah, let's see how we do. Just reach out to us. Let us know. Remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, we're on X, we're on YouTube. please like, follow us, message us, subscribe, whatever you got to do just to let us know that you're there. We appreciate, like Elijah said, our listeners. We can see you listening. We can't thank you enough. We see all of our subscribers on YouTube. Can't thank you enough. Let's hear your voices. And we can't wait to see you next week after this All-Star game. We're pretty excited for it. But until then, thank you everybody for listening to another episode here on the Utah Street Banter. Can't wait to see you next week. See you guys.
See ya.